Hey there, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directive. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. If you have not had a chance to, be sure to check out the video I posted about the eclipses. So I will link that below. Because of that, I was trying to channel messages for today's reading, and I couldn't. So I was guided to use the fairy tale guidebook, The Fairy Tale Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Gemini season is about storytelling, and so creative storytelling, and what is it that we want to create for ourselves. And so I was really hoping for one, and you have three, so we cannot read all of them. Let me see if I can get a message from this. Okay. All right, so, wow. All right, interesting. All right, so you have, this one is called the Nix Mill Pond. It's about memories. It's about remembering what your promises were and keeping them. We have transformation that came up. Transformation is about, again, it's like that promise that to take care of each other. I think we'll probably read this one. And then we have Revelation, the Rose Elf. So let's just take a look. I do not wish to read three at all. So the brother and sister is about living with the consequences of your actions, and wisdom and instinct must be brought in harmony. In this enchanted tale, which has variations from the old Nordic lands to the steppes of Russia. Oops. Yeah, no. This one. Sorry. A young man and a woman barely out of their childhood are driven from their homes, and there is an enchantment upon the land when they come to a stream, and the thirsty brother is warned by his sister not to drink from it, or he will turn into a wild bear and tear her apart. At the next stream, he again resists drinking, for his sister warns him that if he does, he will be turned into a wolf, and she will be devoured. When they reach the third stream, his thirst cannot be tamed, and he drinks, and at this stream he immediately turns into a young roebuck, or a deer. And so his sister promises to care for him and to prevent him from running away. She makes a rope of the rushes, and she leads him around. And so there's wisdom and instinct that must be brought into harmony. It's like when you know something isn't working. So this one is about not keeping a promise and the payment from this. This is about not listening to your inner intuition and your guidance. And so the revelations is, again, it is about getting the information from your instinct, from your intuition, from warnings that you hear either verbally outside of yourself, from family, friends, like, hey, that might not be so great of an idea to do, but it's also about listening to your intuition. And it's about following it and knowing what it is that is in your best interest. And so over the course of the next 2 weeks, you are being encouraged to pay attention to your intuition, to see what it is that feels right, that sounds right. Like, listening to what other people are saying is going to play an important role in you navigating the next 2 weeks. And we are talking about June 8th through the 21st. So we just came out of an eclipse, and now we're going to have another one in 2 weeks. And so it is a big cycle of what did you learn, what's important to you. Also, that eclipse that happened in Sagittarius on the 5th was about releasing long-held beliefs. And so, again, it's about trusting who you are, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what resonates with you, and taking that important message to heart to find the direction to move forward at the next eclipse. So that is some really cool stuff, actually. So I think this is going to work out just fine. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the week. This is for June 8th through the 14th, timestamp, and then we will cover the next week so that you can watch them individually or together. and that would be June 15th through the 21st. So let's go ahead and turn the camera down. Let's get into it. Let's see what we have going on. So we start out with the moon in Capricorn as we begin the week. It got there over the weekend. Right after that eclipse, it moved into Capricorn, and it was a stabilizing force, and it was an opportunity to figure out what your principles are, what is important to you, and to regain your balance. Regaining your balance to figuring out what is of value to you and what it is that you want to do. Now, on the 8th, we also have Mercury moving into shadow. And so it's a great time to take a look around at the projects you have going on. Once Mercury moves into shadow, launching new projects becomes challenging, but I feel like you're going to be challenged to do that for more reasons than Mercury. Mercury is almost like an afterthought right now because it's hard to launch new projects when you have 2 eclipses over the next 4 weeks that are lunar eclipses, which is about releasing and letting go. And we have end of a season to the start of a new season with the equinox, which I'm at the equinox, but the solstice, which also brings in another eclipse. So there's 3 eclipses in 4 weeks, basically. And so there's that, and we have a lot of planets that are in retrograde and more going retrograde. So at this time anyways, it's just hard to start something new, and Mars is in Pisces, slowing everybody down. So, deep breath, everybody. I feel like I can't breathe. So everybody take a deep breath and say, okay, I am going to bring projects that I already have going on into balance. I am going to find a way to put in the proper amount of energy, not too much and not too little, so that I can complete them with, so effort in equals results out. So finding that balance of how much is too much, how much is too little, figuring out where that goes. Okay, and so you're being asked to ask for your needs to be met. This could be your needs to be met from the divine. This could be your needs being met from, I'm sorry, I have to close this notification. It's so distracting. Okay, so allowing your needs to be met by asking people for what you can, for the help from them. Also, when you need your needs met, saying to the spirit, I know this is an issue. I just don't know how I can get what I need here. And so, depending on how much you've been following me, you know that at one point in time, I was trying to pay for my final semester in college, and I didn't have it. And this was actually just a few years ago. I only graduated in 2017. So, I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I just opened up my hands and I said to Spirit, I always have more than enough, and there's always more on the way. And I just believed it and said it all the time. I literally said, and I planned ahead. Like I signed up for my classes, I bought my books, I did what I could, and then it was my Christmas bonus was big enough to pay for my semester and a little more. And so I didn't know where the help would come from. I just believed it would come. And so you're being asked also to trust in that. So to ask for what you need, ask for your needs to be met, and then to allow Spirit to figure out how to do that, which, is never, it's really hard, right, to turn over all of that. And yet when you surrender to that, that's when things start flowing. That's when you're in alignment. So on Tuesday, well, actually Monday night at 8:54 p.m., the moon is going to move into your fellow air sign there, up in your house of long distance travel, of connection with Spirit. There's a theme developing here. Connection with Spirit and higher learning, higher knowledge. What part of getting your needs met will be, I think, discovering where to get the information, right? And so there we have the moon in Aquarius, and it is it could be a real opportunity to notice that there might be a need to break some habits in order to create new ones, new methods, new ideas, new ways of doing things. So you're being challenged to move out of complacency and to find the beauty in life, and to know that you are resilient, that when you cut back the things that do not work, then that's when there's growth. And you're being encouraged to imagine the possibilities, to plan for what it is that you want, to say, okay, I don't know how this is going to happen, but if this was in play, what can I do right now that would set me up for success in that area of my life that you're looking at? And so the moon is going to square off, which is a tough angle, but it's an angle of change, of a harsh change, of a big change, not necessarily harsh as in bad, but like a sharp change, with the ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus and Taurus. And so there's going to be a little tension, the change is going to come. And so you're being encouraged to like really, this is imagine, to daydream into what you want, like working through this energy, flowing through this energy, going, okay, so I know change is coming. And this is what I want it to look like on the other side of the change. Like the change itself looks like it's tough. What do you want it to look like on the other side? So look at the colors on these. I feel like Spirit's saying, trust us. Trust us. Ask us for what you want. Ask us what it is that you want it to look like when you are done. What is it that you need it to look like? Huh. I just realized I didn't pull any cards out to use for that, which is very surprising because I had one in mind. You are the first sign I'm doing this time, which is unusual. All right, so let's talk about it. When you reach for what you want, when you understand, when that moon moves into Pisces at 5:32 in the morning, and Venus will become the early morning star. You may or may not be able to see it just as the sun is coming up because it's really close to the sun. This is about being willing to emotionally release, to let go of the things in your life that do not work for you, to allow for space to come through, to bring in what it is that you really need, to create space for that. And so here you have this opportunity to really reach for the wisdom, the knowledge. What happened? What happened in over time that had to break down, to fall apart, and taught you what it is that you need in order to move forward? I'm actually just going to pull another card out of this deck for that, because there's a lot here about having guidance for managing emotions in it. It's a really great deck. It is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. So I think for you, this reaching for the wisdom is an action that you are taking, because we have action and there's a change in the wind. And so there's this change, right? This sharp change, this movement in a new direction that is going to happen. It is a chance for you to escape into the future that you want to create. I actually wrote using your imagination to visualize the future you want to create. And so we have the imagine, there's a change in the wind, and taking the action. It is your opportunity to take all the knowledge and the information you've gained and be able to take the action. And obviously, Gemini, you are being asked to actively participate in this change. You're being asked to do your part. Now, part of it is going to be feeling gratitude for all the lessons that you've learned. The tough lessons, They're tough, but you remember them, right? Do you remember what you learned in the classes that were super easy, or do you remember the stuff you had to study really hard and practice really hard at? It's the tough ones, right? So this gratitude for the people that were brought into your life, for the opportunities that brought in your life that created growth. That might not have been fun, it might not have been easy, but you had these soul contracts with it. These people showed up and they did their job. They taught you these things. And so expressing gratitude for them, not anger, not resentment, releasing that, but retaining the information, the wisdom, and the knowledge gained, and using it to imagine what it is that you want your future to look like. Because you have action there, and you have action here when that moon, can you see it? There we go. When that moon moves into Aries, the sign of initiation and action, on Saturday. It gets there at 5:03 p.m. on Saturday. And you might be feeling really frustrated because I want to take action. And I just would like you to understand how protected you are during this phase. I know you want to take action. Everybody really wants to take action, but they're feeling like it is so sluggish. It is so slow, right? We have all this stuff going on, and it's really hard to get through it, because on top of everything we have going on, the action planet of Mars is in Pisces, which is making it slow. So the action doesn't have to be running, charging out of the gate. The action, I believe, is the imagination. The action is the visualization of where you want to go. That is the action to take. Sit down and write it out. Figure out what it is you're going to need to know in order to create this. How do I get there from here? Start mapping it out. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to have to worry so much about every part of it. It is more about the intention of, I intend to move in this direction. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm headed. This is what I want. And that is a big action when you make the decision. When you decide to imagine what your future is going to be and start considering what the next steps are and being willing to go around that corner, that blind corner where you don't actually know what's over there. The reason you don't know is because you haven't imagined it into being yet. Ooh, that's cool. I just heard that. Wish I could take credit for that. All right, so there's a real sense of resistance to all this, right? I should timestamp this. There's this real sense of resistance to moving on, to taking this and going forward. Gosh, I thought I wrote down the time, but I didn't. All right. I swear I did. All right, so there's this resistance that you have to push through, and I feel like this is the inner resistance. This is the action. This is the, I deserve this. I want this. I can accomplish this. That is the energy of pushing forward that you're being asked to look at right now. That is what the whole weekend, Saturday evening, Sunday, and then Monday, is this action of, I really want this, and I deserve this, and I can figure it out. And then on Tuesday, we start with the negotiating with ourselves. Then the moon moves into Taurus at 5:35 in the morning, and you wake up and you're like, I am going to find peace with letting go of the crap that does not work in my life. Because on the other side of this crap is the good stuff. It's where I want to go. It's where I'm headed. So let's go ahead and grab some cards on this before I get too far ahead of myself, which I have been known to do. I swear, though, I wrote down that time on that other thing. I don't know where it went. Oh, I see it. Yay. All right. So, what do you need to know? I don't want to say that Spirit, if this one feels like it wants to come too. Okay, I don't want to say that Spirit has a real theme working here, but they do. They really, really do. They really want you to see what it is that you need to know in order to really push things forward here. It's about visualizing, because it says here, see the big picture. And you know, the thing about a giraffe, look how tall they are, right? And they have those little antennas on top. And it's that information from Spirit that is pulled down and then grounded on their 4 feet into the earth, right? So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Visualize, see the big picture. And life is speeding up was the one that wanted to come. And so, yes, it is. It is speeding up. You can't really tell. It's like the train is just getting ready to leave the station. But we're finishing out this week here on that eclipse that is going to be us leaving the station. Of us moving forward, of getting on with the show, of where it is that we're going to next. And so, big, big deal with this eclipse here. It is a new beginning. So visualizing what it is that you want to do. And then Mercury goes retrograde on Thursday the 18th. And so things have been slowing down. Wrapping up of projects continues. Gemini, you are ruled by Mercury. So when Mercury goes retrograde, even though it's happening in Cancer, I think that you will notice it. You will feel it. It's in your, it's in the way you feel about things. I think that you're going to notice it and allow yourself to use it as an opportunity to rest and to make the concession to yourself that, so that didn't really work out the way I wanted to, but I learned something from it, and I am going to surrender to the divine my need to control everything. I choose to get in flow with Spirit and use this energy and this time to move forward. And so I feel like Mercury in retrograde for almost everybody except, I think, Cancer is going to struggle with it. I think that it's almost not that important because of all the other energy that's going on. Like, I don't think you can blame anything on that. Communication, however, will be confusing. But it's been in a water sign for a while, so it's been confusing for a while. That will continue. It might even be a little more confusing. So this communication with your higher self becomes really important. Like really knowing who you are and what it is that you want, and allowing yourself to really dive into that and figure out where you want to go and how to get there. Yeah, mostly the first step, the action step right now is visualizing it. Like visualizing that you can create for yourself. So we have Archangel Uriel. Become an ambassador for peace. Get the bigger picture. These situations that upset you or bothers you, they're here to point you in the direction that you want to go. People were here to teach you things. So this one insisted on coming out with it, and I'm laughing because it says, let your creative imagination fly. They don't want you to forget. You are going to manifest your future by imagining it. So imagine the beautiful things. Imagine the positive things. Imagine all the things that you want. Don't imagine the worst case scenario, because honestly, this energy is so fertile. You are going to create what you spend your time focusing on. And so I really, 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 really want you to consider focusing on the future and what you want it to look like and what you really want from it. So this eclipse, let's talk about this eclipse. It's at 0 degrees of Cancer. That is some powerful, transformative energy, and because it's at 0 degrees, that makes it the moon in Pluto. The moon in Pluto. The moon in Pluto says, what are you letting go of so that you can create the new ahead of you? Hera also rules this part, and I didn't think of this when I was pulling out the cards yesterday, but I'm thinking right now, because there's this sense of isolation with the moon here and with Hera there, and Hera always felt like she was cheated on. She was cheated on. She felt neglected by Zeus, right? And her anger and her rage and her jealousy and her need to be vindictive really made her life less fun than it could have been. And so maybe part of what you need to really let go of is your sense of disappointment in the people who taught you the lessons that you asked them to come teach you, and instead focus on what the lesson was. The lesson, this is the new moon eclipse in Cancer. It is about remembering that we were all here through these last 18 months, learning how to love ourselves, how to nurture ourselves, how to fill up our own bucket of love, and then decide where it is that we want to go from here. This is beautiful stuff, really. And so this sense of isolation, it's really just that pause, that breath. You're in the doorway. You're in the doorway to your future. Out of the dark into the light. But using the space of the nighttime, the darkness, to think about it. As in, okay, all right, I got it. You know what's really funny to me? I never noticed this before. This is totally the new moon. This says new moon here, but they have a full moon up here. What? Sorry, squirrel. Okay, so stepping out of your dreams and then pulling them down like the giraffe and creating the new reality for yourself. So lots of guidance that I wanted to pull for this. Because it's a full moon, that means it's opposite of the sun. Plus the sun is in Cancer, moves in there. It's the summer solstice on Saturday the 20th. So the sun moves into Cancer at 5:44 p.m. So that's in the evening. That's Eastern Daylight Time. And then the moon will enter Cancer hot on its heels at 11:02 p.m. And then within like 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes, we have the eclipse at 2:41 a.m. So 39 minutes. This eclipse is, you're able to see it in the southern hemisphere, like over the Indian Ocean and the South Pacific, I think, is where I saw on the map. If you live near there, then check it out. So this is for the sun in Cancer. You have focus and we have love. But that focus is like the star shining on you. And so this is a focus on loving and nurturing yourself. All of my thoughts are directed toward my highest good. I am wonderful. I receive and give love today. When we fill up our own bucket of love, then we have enough to share with other people. So it's really important that we start there. Start with loving ourselves. And then the moon says, believe. Believe in the impossible. Believe in the impossible. This is a blue moon, right? It's a rare opportunity. It's a rare opportunity to really believe that you can create whatever you want, and you're being asked to push yourself to the surface. Don't allow yourself to lay in the void too long. This is the dreaming stage. This is important to imagine, but then you need to take action and push yourself to the surface and launch yourself out with this eclipse energy into the next step, into the next stage. So you may have become complacent. You may be stalling in need of a surge of energy. Become aware of the dynamics in your life. Things are going to start picking up and moving ahead. They really are. We've got, so the eclipse is on the 21st. And then on the 25th, Venus goes direct. So all the things that we've been learning about love, of how we feel now that starts moving forward, and it's an opportunity to really integrate those lessons before she gets into new territory. And then on the 29th, can we all stand up and cheer? Mars moves into Aries. Now Mars is going to be in Aries for 5 months, and that's going to be a lot. It does a retrograde. A lot of the planets start moving forward. Life is speeding up. Life is speeding up. So take advantage of the opportunity to do some dreaming and then start moving. You have the Cancerian stone for your I can't even think, your crystal for this time. It says vital life force flows vibrantly through me. I am grateful for the energetic passion in my life. This is improved physical strength and vitality, increased endurance and passion, activate productivity and self-motivation, increase enthusiasm and overall feelings of well-being. That sluggish energy you've been in, this is you being sent out with like a slingshot. Get out there and get moving and create the reality that you want, what you visualize, what you desire. Really, really potent couple of weeks. So, wow. And if all the videos go this long, I'm going to be here all day. All right. Well, good luck with all this. This looks amazing. It looks amazing. So you guys take care, and I will see you on the other side of the eclipse when we start talking about the next eclipse, because they're just 3 in a row. All right. You take care. Oh, I have to, because everything's moved around. All right. Thanks.